Filipino Avengers Retake Christmas Hill. 200 Chinese soldiers killed. Imagine rain and sleet, fierce gunfire, and fearless men. 1,560 Filipino Avengers charging into the unknown to retake a hill that could shift the fate of a nation. This is the untold, breathtaking true story of Christmas Hill. Their heroism just days before the end of the Korean War. Stay with me, because this is a journey you don't want to miss. Chapter 1: Arrival and Mission. May 1953, Korea. Filipino soldiers step off a train under cold skies. They are the 14th Battalion Combat Team, known as the Avengers, named for their fierce reputation back home. Their mission? March to the front, stand guard over valleys, and hold ground for freedom. They'd come thousands of miles from the Philippines. Their commanders told them, "You are here to make a difference." And they believed it. The Avengers practiced patrols, trained beside Americans, watched each other's backs. Even in training, courage showed. Then came orders. Christmas Hill, called Baekseok Mountain, an outpost recently lost to Chinese forces. It was a chance to strike back. They knew it meant danger. Some soldiers held letters from home, others a photo of young siblings. Yet the Avengers shared one thought: not on our watch. They prepared ammunition, cleaned their rifles, whispered prayers. They are ready. They are brave. And so, under gray skies, they marched toward what could be their biggest test yet, their greatest legacy. But they did not know how fierce the storm, both weather and war, that awaited them. Chapter 2: Tension and Storm. The night before the counterattack was a white-knuckled storm of rain and sleet. The 14th BCT huddled in frost-laced foxholes, drenched and tense. Every drip echoed like a ticking clock, time running out before the enemy's next move. Under the lead of A and B companies, the Avengers waited. They knew the hill had fallen days earlier, and failure to retake it would shift the front against the Allies just before the ceasefire. Their commanders whispered orders: hold steady. At dawn, we strike. Rain blurred their vision. Boots weighed by mud. Every breath was steam in the frosty air. The mood was heavy. Hope wrapped in cold steel nerves. Families back home tucked into bed as these men readied for what may be their final act. Then, amid thunder and tension, the signal came. Charge. A and B companies rose as one, climbing through mud and barbed wire. Bullets zipped past, the sky crackled with mortar fire. Shocked Chinese defenders fell back. 14th BCT's guns and resolve broke their line. Rain couldn't wash away the echo of Filipino shouts, "Para sa bayan!" By afternoon, Christmas Hill was theirs once more. Over 200 Chinese soldiers lay fallen, and the wet ground glistened with both victory and sorrow. Even so, this was only half the battle. The storm hadn't ended, neither had the fighting. In that moment, drenched and exhausted, the Avengers claimed something much bigger than a hill. They reclaimed hope. Tomorrow, the world may be quiet. Peace may come. But today, their courage roared louder than the rain. Chapter 3: The Counterattack. The sky that morning was heavy, spit-firing rain mixing with sleet to lash the mountaintop. A and B companies of the Avengers pressed forward, rifles in mud-caked hands, hearts pounding like war drums. They trudged through a maze of trenches and obstacles, the weight of the moment visible in every footstep. Ahead lay the reclaimed line, Christmas Hill, an outpost once belonged to American forces but had slipped into enemy hands. In the other direction, Chinese Communist forces, alerted and braced, scanned the front, unaware of the ferocity building just before dawn. Filipino commanders whispered into radios, coordinating the advance with unwavering precision. Then, the signal. A burst of light from a flare, a flash of white in the gray. It was go time. They charged. Rain blurred their vision. Grit and mud in every breath. Bullets sang close overhead. Filipino shouts cut through explosions. Para sa bayan. The Chinese lines wavered. The Filipinos' ferocity was unexpected and overwhelming. With each meter gained, they retook ground, inch by brave inch. By mid-morning, the hill crest was in Filipino hands. Chinese casualties exceeded 200 killed, many more wounded. The mud turned red with valor and sacrifice. But victory came with cost. Bullets whined overhead. The field glistened, trench, rifle, and flag alike dripping with rain and memories. The Avengers raised a makeshift flag atop the hill, a beacon of hope in a war-weary world. From a blood-soaked trench below, a platoon sergeant looked at the flag. Eyes glistened not just with rain, but with pride, exhaustion, and triumph.
Chapter 4: Holding the Line. After retaking Christmas Hill, the Avengers faced a new enemy. Not one wearing uniforms, but one in the form of time and pressure. The Korean landscape didn't pause. Neither did the Chinese forces. The 14th BCT braced for the counterattack. Mortars and artillery slammed the hill under a relentless deluge. Every rhythm of a shell landing was a heartbeat skipped in fear. They held their ground, gripping rifles slick with mud and blood. Despite the onslaught, there was something in the air, a message booming through Chinese loudspeakers, taunting them in a cold, distorted voice. "Surrender now, you're trapped." But Filipino hearts refused surrender. Even amid the storm, they found strength in unity. A medic passed bandages. A young private offered a sip of water to a trembling comrade. Every small act of kindness fueled their courage. Over the next tense hours, the enemy tried again. Waves of Chinese infantry climbed the muddy slopes under mortar fire, but the Avengers held line. They fought shoulder to shoulder, bayonets ready, bullets aimed true. In this muddy trench, time warred with hope. Yet in their shared fear and determination, a powerful bond was forged. A sergeant fiddled with his radio, voice shaking. "Hold on, supplies incoming." At that moment, a helicopter appeared, roaring through the rain to deliver fresh ammo, a lifeline in both bullets and morale. Filipino cheers rose above the roar. And then, as if on cue, silence followed. The guns stopped. Rain retreated. On the horizon, a flag rose, red, white, and blue. It wasn't only Filipino, it was human perseverance. These men, so far from home, had held fast. Their unity, courage, and compassion stitched a moment of light into the darkness. Christmas Hill was no longer a memory. It was a living testament to Filipino excellence in war. Now, if you're inspired by the bravery and heart of these Filipino Avengers, smash that like button, subscribe for more untold hero stories, and drop a comment sharing what part of this story moved you most. Let's keep their legacy alive together. Chapter 5: Ceasefire and Legacy. On 27 July 1953, the guns fell silent. The Korean Armistice Agreement took effect, ending the fighting. Christmas Hill lay quiet in the dawn light, still and scarred, but held by brave Filipinos who would shape its legacy. For the 14th BCT Avengers, this wasn't just the end of a battle, it marked a moment of enduring purpose. Days after Christmas Hill was retaken, the Avengers remained on watch. Rain gave way to calm. Then, in March 1954, they finally left Korean soil to return home. worn by war, but strong in spirit. They were more than soldiers, they were symbols of valor. In December 1953, the South Korean government awarded them the Presidential Unit Citation, and the Philippine government followed suit in March 1954. In the years that followed, Filipino veterans returned to their hometowns. Their children heard stories of rain-soaked dawns and comradeship in trenches. Decades later, survivors like Rodrigo Erino, part of the 14th BCT, still recall the intensity in speeches and memorials. Today, memorials in the Philippines and Korea stand as symbols of that shared history, tributaries of courage flowing across time. This story of bravery, in the rain, through fear, and into peace, is a life lesson for all of us. If you felt your heart lift for these Avengers, smash that like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what part of their courage inspired you today. Let's share this tale so the heroes of Christmas Hill are never forgotten. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, and liking our video. God bless us all.